Welcome to the Dirty Folks Podcast. I'm Dirty Folks. I talk a lot about a lot of stuff on social media, but titles don't talk. So one of the greatest things that people talk about is getting an education, and education is failing black boys at an epic rate. It's because it's set up for women. It's set up for girls to be empowered, and now they're setting it up to turn boys gay so they're more receptive to the way that girls learn. You have to understand this. Women don't like children. They like babies. They like helpless things. A woman can be walking around cursing out her 11-year-old son, calling him everything but the son of God, and then see a baby carriage go past and get baby fever, like, oh my God, I want another one. Once kids can walk and talk, boys are just naturally more active. That's why they call it the terrible tools. And because boys are more active, that's because they learn by exploration. Girls learn by oral, um, oral communication, by written communication. That's why they excel in these type of educational courses. Boys are more hands-on. Even as men, they'll try to put together a table from IKEA without reading the instructions. That's just how nature programmed people based on, saying their genetic makeup. Um, when you look in the black community, you're looking at 47% high school dropout rate, which means these kids were never good at school. They just had to wait until they were 16 to drop out. So here's the thing. If you want to reduce violence, actually the way you reduce violence is by putting fathers in the home or giving dads custody, but that's not going to happen. So the second best thing you can do for these boys is a boarding school. Now, my chest has been hurting a lot lately, so I'm giving up the game. But I've been working on this for years. Um, so I'm gonna break down a couple of things real quick. I'm not gonna string it along. First thing I want to say is this: the reason that black boys need boarding schools is because by any means necessary, you need them to get these boys away from their mothers, so that they have an opportunity. I said what I said. Women will appreciate it. They just don't want the kids to have a father. They are always looking for a mentor or a father figure. So they don't mind if an entire institution is built to take their sons off their hands, as long as they don't have to share parenting duties, as long as they get all the credit. So all girls want is the credit. They don't want the parenting. So the reason that it works is because it can be marketed as such. You take in boys, let's say 3 years old. That's the average age for preschool. So you take 3-year-old boys and you send them to boarding school. Now, boarding school is something that's normally seen as what rich people do, but that's because how it's funded. Let me go backwards. Let me tell you what a school is. A school is a building. That's it. A school is a building that's funded by a municipality in order to teach your kids just enough to be able to be indoctrinated with whatever society tells you. The curriculum is wrong. So a boarding school allows you to create your own curriculum from scratch. So you don't have to break down men to build them back up. So they don't turn the men to they 35 years old instead of being a man at 16. At 16, people were conquering nations. Alexander the Great conquered Europe at 16. Um, so did Genghis Khan. You know, conquering nations at 16. My grandparents moved out the house at 15. 16 years old is plenty old enough to know what you want to do, what you want to be, and move on with your life. The fact that they hold you into these institutional indoctrination camps for so long is an issue. Um, so you start off early, 3 years old, right? You teach them everything they need to know at 3 years old. All male teachers. There's really There is the only reason that women are predominantly teachers now is because gays started the public school system and liberals funded. But before public school, all education was done in a little red schoolhouse by the neighborhood fathers. Fathers taught their sons their craft, their trade, and taught them how to read, and taught them really at the age of seven, no, I ain't gonna say seven, eight, I mean seventh and eighth grade. So what's that, 12, 13 years old? They knew math, they knew calculus by seventh, eighth grade because you could literally lose the farm if they signed a bad deal. So they had to know mathematics like no other at 12, 13 years old. The reason we got summer break is because normally those are the 2 months that the kids had to reap and sow the harvest so that they could sell crop. We were an agricultural country until the Industrial Revolution. So men were always the teachers. This 90 in Chicago, 98% women are teachers, and you wonder why your boys are failing because they put them on Prozac and Zoloft and what's the other one for Ritalin? You know what I'm saying? Because they can't handle the energy of a boy. Dads can handle it just fine. Men can handle it just fine because men don't go off noise. Men go off if it's totally silent and if they hear something break. Men don't care what you do. Just don't kill yourself. So men know how to take that boy energy and funnel it in a productive way. So a boy boarding school works out for that reason too. There's a lot of reasons why. Um, as far as funding goes, this is how you fund your school. I'm not gonna give you all the game, but I'll give you this. Whether you're 4 years old or 64 years old, the state pays the same. Whether you're a teacher or the school institution itself, or if you're a home care aide, or if you're a babysitter getting a babysitting check, the money goes the exact same way. Look at the budgets. So if a person has a home daycare and gets paid $250 a week, you know what I'm saying, to maintain kids. If you are a home care aide and get 250 per person that you do it, and the schools get 250 per child, it's the same money. It comes from the state. It doesn't come from the school. The city, your municipality, handles the school. It pays the teachers. It pays the for the land, for the building, the light bill, the the books, all that. But the state pays per student. In the digital world, I publish books. You can give every kid an iPad for the dirt and have all digital books. So all that 250, $300 that Laidlaw and Scholastic get over with, you know what I'm saying? The teachers like, we don't have enough books for the students. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. We got that. So then you turn around and the next thing is um you say, okay, so that's your funding. Now, as you get your funding, the next thing that you need is a place to do it at. Hold on a second. I'm doing something right now. I get whatever you gotta get the car. I'm doing something. Okay, so um, now it becomes a real estate deal. As long as it's a real estate deal and you have a place to house the kids, there's a bunch of different uh, programs that give you the basic state curriculum that you need in order to provide educational background for your students. Now, here's the thing about that: all education only goes up to sixth grade. No matter how long they stretch it out, it only goes to sixth grade. If you remember school, you'll remember that when you left third grade, when you got to fourth grade, like the first 3, 4 months of fourth grade was reviewing what you did in third grade. Think about it. There was no progression in there. There was probably in 10 months of schooling, there was probably 4 or 5 months of learning on new stuff. So as long as you have a concise curriculum, you don't need to have all that lapse time. Now, and because the state will pay from birth to 16 years old, the earlier you can get them in and get them started, you can actually have whole classes that graduate by 16 years old and be funded totally by the state. The city doesn't even start paying until junior, senior year after you turn 16. 17, 18-year olds are the only ones who have to get state grants in order to pay. Think about this. I have friends that are teachers. They work in an administrative building and they actually have to get state grants for programs like music and all that. They also have to get state grants that are block grants for upperclassmen because that's not really, the state don't pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Not immediately. They pay for it as a block grant, but that's not guaranteed pay. The guaranteed pay is 0 to 16. So you can graduate whole classes at 16. You can set up your system as such. I'm not going to give you the system on the curriculum because that's game for another day. I'm actually going to do a series about that for people who are registered tolerologists. Speaking of that, subscribe, man. Subscribe to the channel and share the videos. Once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll drop the tolerology certification course, and then I'll give real game to certified tolerologists. But I'm not gonna throw the pearls of swine. This is just a taste, just so y'all know I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so you set up a curriculum that's boy centric. Boys need trades, so you set up trade partners. So all the things that they do when they talk about they need funding for arts or whatever, there are professional men and women, but boys school, professional men in your area that have a trade that those kids want to learn, that can be invited into, and they'll come in and you can sublet them. You know what I'm saying? They can get paid. I can teach y'all how to pay them, um, and it still be part of the budget. So they get their trade from actual tradesmen instead of from the gym teacher slash janitor slash basketball coach slash learning disability teacher. They'll have actual tradesmen come in and teach them the trade and the trades that they like. Let them do that. You know what I'm saying? Have a progressive school in which there is a base curriculum, which is reading, writing, arithmetic, and history, because history is how you indoctrinate them. So you give them your version of history. But besides that, everything else is what they want to do because all they have to do is get credit hours. Kids, those saying education is about credit hours. So if they find something they like, let them pursue that. And by the time they're 16, they go into an internship in which they go directly from school, from the boarding school, straight to their profession at 16 years old. That's a huge jump on life, a huge jump. Because there ain't no more McDonald's jobs. All them senior citizens now. All the jobs that my friends had when I was in high school, when they worked at Church's Chicken and we slide through, they give you free okra and all that shit. You don't see no kids working. You see them begging. You don't see no kids working anymore. It's no jobs. That's why they trying to make the minimum wage $15 because motherfuckers at 65 need $15. Kids would have worked for $5. All they wanted was some Jordans. They ain't got no bills, no overhead. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that's it, man. You set up the curriculum with as such with whatever trades you want to do, and the trades are their classes, so they learn automotive mechanic skills or forex or whatever it is that they want to do, and you let them from the ages of 10 or 12 all the way up to 16 just master their craft. Let them be the best at their craft and feed back into the same program and be a bridge for the kids that's younger and be an asset to their corporate sponsors. This is this is just common sense. This is common sense, man. How to take care of your own. The problem is you want other people to do it. You want other people to fund it. I have these arguments with my dad because my dad's a baby boomer, and I talk about charter schools and using the charter program to fund boarding schools. And he like, well, I pay taxes. My taxes should go to public schools. Public schools need to get better. And we have these huge debates about it because here's the thing: every school gets funded from the same pot. Every single school, whether it's boarding school, whether it's charter school, whether it's public school, it comes from the same public fund. So it doesn't matter if it's a boarding school, his tax dollars will go to it. If it's a public school, his tax dollars will go to it. But he doesn't see that. All he sees is, man, I paid my money to the municipality. The municipality should educate my kids, but they're not educating your kids. They're not. Number one, they're just not. But number two, the state funds it. So those are state taxes. Those aren't city taxes. The city tax just pays for the building. If y'all ever noticed, I've researched this by the way. If you ever noticed that huge project, but think about your tax bill. If you had to live on a quarter acre, your tax bill in Chicago is $5,000 a year for a quarter acre of land. Schools are sitting on 2, 3 acres. So what's their tax bill? 25, $40,000 a year? Are they paying that? Nah, the state paying it. The same with the projects. The projects sitting on hella land, public space. You know what I'm saying? Now that's another video for another day on how they do it, how they get the tax free land. I got that figured out too, but that's later on when I tell y'all how to build your own community so y'all can lock it down. That's different. But the formula is that the taxes you pay is just for the municipality is basically just to pay for the building. You know what I'm saying? And pay for the teacher's salary. But you don't have to pay for teacher's salary. You can become a certified teacher. I can teach people. I can put people on how to become a certified teacher and be able to teach students. You don't need a master's degree. You don't. Not to teach. Teaching is a 4 hour class and a couple of certifications. You don't need a teaching degree. 20 years of school for what? To teach 4-year-olds their colors? You really telling me these motherfuckers got to go to school for 20 years, get a master's degree to teach 5-year-olds red, blue, green, purple? Really? That Stop it. Don't be indoctrinated by the most educated people in America, bro. It's not. That's just liberals liberaling, bro. Anyway, that's all I want to say about that, man. Look, boarding schools, our boys deserve that. They deserve a real education with a real history, a real knowledge of self, real people that get to know them. That's another thing. When you're in a boarding school, the people that you're in school with are your people. Those are your surrogate parents, your surrogate uncles. The chancellor of the school is the patriarch. These are people that you see every day from when you get in that all the way until you get out. There is no first grade teacher, second grade teacher. I'm in this man's covenant my entire educational experience. So it's a real bond. It's motherfuckers that really care about the kids, who's really getting that bread. They're gonna get the bread they're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And you really put them in a safe, um, conducive environment. Anyway, click and subscribe, man. Check me out on Anchor or whatever. The links in the description. If you like the content, send a nigga a couple dollars. Love each other as you love yourself. Feed the pack.